bedrock sample, hopefully in the next couple days here. But in all reality, I'm not really out here looking to mine. I'm out here prospecting, surveying this land, determining where the machine mining ground would be versus not. When the guy does put his money into something like this, he's generally going to get a return. But yeah, I stake claims, I'll do surveys and study, and quickly determine if I'm interested, put more work into it for machine operation. But yeah, this is a fairly big claim. Got a canyon in behind me here. All this land here lays pretty flat. Got tables on both sides of this river. So far I've found 3 different elevations with old benches, old rivers with gold. But I'm at the head end here because it's the best place for a guy to determine what he's going to run into downriver from this point. Kind of a bottleneck or a pinch point here. You gotta get a good idea of what kind of values, how the river is structured, and the guy can carry on further downriver from here and add it all up to hopefully one day a machine operation in here.
Well, there's one thing that a lot of prospectors end up doing is they get stuck on a creek. You know, if you're in an environmentally sensitive area or a place like BC, all I can use is a shovel and a pan in here, and I ain't going to make any real money doing that. And the whole purpose of sampling this creek to determine what types of gold are in here, how the layers are layering themselves, what types of rocks are running through here, how this whole channel structures itself from low water to high water to a major flood event. You know, all the little things that put this channel together. And then when you push off into the bush, you should be able to recognize these things when you're digging. But yeah, I enter an area, I do a quick study on the history, get a general idea of what's been going on, study this river channel and how it acts, and then I push off into the bush where a guy can mine and possibly make some money one day. But yeah, just use these creek channels for a nice sunny day panning, study this channel, and it'll definitely help you off in the bush for future sampling. But yeah, there's no point in wasting my life away on this creek. I'm never going to make any real money. And if you look in here, we got all these tailing piles all along this river's edge. In the early days, like I say, they didn't have water pumps and all this, excavators and these types of things. You know, it was all hand labor. So they had to utilize their time and target areas that they could mine by hand. Say they would upriver from here, there is no water source for fluming or wing damming. So basically they had to take this material, dig it up, and then they would have had their sluices down in the river over here. All in here is a false bedrock of clay. It was shallow digging for them with the river right next here. They stripped all this off, stacked piles of boulders all through here. And yeah, they targeted an easy area with some good gold, cleaned it out, and moved on. Yeah, here again you can see the old flat. See their tailing piles where they've stripped all this area out. And then right next to it up here is the next bench, the old river channel up here. There's all kinds of big river rock and everything down in here. But like I was saying, it wasn't cost effective, and it was too time consuming for them to move this material from here down to the river, and they couldn't get any water up ahead on top of this hill to run down for their sluices. So they pushed down river and targeted all these little benches right along this river. Well, looks like we lucked out with the colder weather. The water tables have been dropping. We haven't been getting any rain. The guy could get in here and start digging down again right away. Yeah, as you're digging down, like I said, if you studied the river, the modern river channel itself today, like I say, you'd have a good general idea of what to expect as you're digging. And this is just classic to what this modern channel is doing. It's basically landslide material, glacier till material, and the river gravel is coming from upstream. But when you're sampling in here, see, you got heavy rock. It took quite a bit of water flow to move this, so you're going to have some not bad gold mixed in here. But as soon as you start getting a intersection where things change, this is all hard pan. And I'm thinking at one time this river ran earlier in time before this one has, and it would act like a false bedrock layer in here. So right along where these two intersect, basically there's a nice little pay streak. And you examine the layers as you go down. Like I said, all these layers with rust seem to not have bad gold. As I drop down, the gold seems to be not as rich, but what I'm hoping is underneath all this you'll start hitting a larger rock, and a false bedrock or a bedrock, and basically where this dead zone is, all the gold should have dropped through here down to this bottom. Here's another little tidbit for you. When you're digging in the bush like this, generally you can go on today's river channel to give you a general direction, but a lot of these rivers twisted back and forth through the bush. But as you're digging, if you watch these stones, these big boulders, like you see that one there, the point, and another point, another point, another point, they're all pointing the direction of the river flow. The water was coming right towards us basically. You know, give it a degree or two, one way or the other, but in general, it's coming right towards us, because the heavier end of that boulder would be facing in the current, and the lighter end would be facing downriver, because it would twist, and the light end would point down, the heavy end would stick to the bottom. So yeah, just little clues, you know, like you'll find maybe sand built up in behind, just like in the river. That's why you go down in the river and you sample and survey that channel to see how it's structuring, and there's lots of clues in there for when a guy's digging in the bush. And then as I dig down here, maybe I might be able to determine if this is two different channels, and maybe they did go two different directions. Yeah, little things to look for. It's always just the most subtle things that'll tell you the most. Well, just for the fun of it, you know, I've already surveyed and sampled all this area here and generally have a good idea what's going on. But just for the fun of it for you, I'll do 3 pans. I'll do an area up here with the bigger boulders. I'll do the layer where they intersect, and then I'll do one down from the bottom. And I'll show you the differences in the heavies and the golds. Yeah, as far as sample goes, the gravels sure are rich in irons, just brilliant reds. I think it'd be rich in gold, but we'll pan it off and I'll show you what's in there. See how interesting that is, how rich and red that pan was with rust. And a couple little flower pieces. One nice little wire piece here. But yeah, that's it. But in an old channel scenario in the hill, a lot of time the heavy rust deposits with rain waters and spring waters, the rust will actually stain down. So the guy should maybe look up above here. And that's what we'll do. We'll take a sample above this layer and see if there's any differences in the gold. It wasn't overly rich in black sands either, but it sure had a lot of iron stain. So one nice little piece, but that's about it. Well, that proved to be interesting. Like I was saying about the rusts, they tend to streak downwards. So if you look at the layer on top of the rust, and probably about 6 inches into it, but Yeah, that sample, a little larger rock, a little more black sand. And got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nice little pieces in there. And it was basically about 5 inches above the next layer above, mixed in with the larger rock. But yeah, that more organized gravel rust layer seems to be acting as a false bedrock layer in there. And there seems to be basically a more modern channel sitting on an older channel, and the older channels for the moderns acting as a false bedrock layer and leaving a deposit higher up. Still interested in going down and hitting bedrock here, but just a quick little example to show you how sampling is important as you go. Now, there could be a little seam in there that pays really good. The guy pays attention. Yeah, if you look at the layers here, like say you got more of a hard pan down here with a heavy rust, and what appears to be a more modern, looser channel up here, and this is acting like a false bedrock layer, and it's leaving a deposit of gold on top. As you go down, because this is an older channel, when this was running, the gold wouldn't have been depositing as much in these flood layers up here as when you had the major flood event. The gold would have been underneath all this. But yeah, if you look at all the different layers, you can actually almost see the events as the river moved up and down, or else years of stacking layers. But yeah, one way or another, a guy has to sample it all and look at it all. Go down as far as you can to determine the values and how the river is structuring from this point on downriver.
Well, if there's one thing about being out here, there's no shortage of things to do. Fall time here, guy really needs firewood, especially staying out here overnight. Keeps the animals a little bit more at bay. Plus it's nice to sit by a fire. Yeah, being fall time though, a guy has to really watch himself. Spring and fall is usually one of the better times to get attacked by a bear. Yeah, I got a big snag falling out back here. We'll go buck it up, haul some wood in, get a fire going. And let them critters know that we're in the area.
Back here cutting that snag. I sure like the looks of this hill back in here. Great big flat. Probably won't get in here till next season. Winter's just around the corner here. Yeah, all this lower section in the back here, I'll have to slash a trail in here and open things up. And look at the side of this hill as well. Most of it's going to be the glacier till. But yeah, definitely looking good back here. Yeah, getting ready for the night. Sun's going down quick. Won't take too much for it to start getting dark now. Yeah, old birch bark, one of the best fire starters in this part of the world anyway. Yeah, we'll get this fire going. Yeah, nice little teepee, which is birch bark. Pretty good fuel, burn fast and hot. Takes no time at all, little teepee and birch bark. Nice dry spruce wood too, so should go up nice. Give her a little kick. There we go. Done deal. That's one thing about being out here. Not all about just getting the gold. I have to survive out here. Yeah, I think it's one of the funnest parts of it. It's kind of a challenge between me and the bush, the wilderness, the animals. You know, survive in the night, find a little bit of gold. Oh my good lord. I think I'm still going through this hard pan. It's just a lot softer because of the water table. But yeah, sure getting a lot more fun to come out than go in, that's for sure. Running into the water a little bit again. But yeah, we'll keep pushing our way down and hopefully these layers change quick. Holy man, these layers just keep going and going. Hopefully it isn't too much further down. Water seems okay. Yeah, we'll fill up buckets, make a stockpile. Yeah, sun's gone down pretty much. I can still hear my friend over across the river there in the bush. Probably a moose. Yeah, we'll keep on digging in here and hopefully the layers change in the next foot or so. Oh, just sitting here having a coffee break. Keep hearing that critter in the bush there. You know, I might have to retreat to the old hacienda there. Sit by the fire tonight. I was planning on putting a lantern in here and working. But being fall time, you know, this is the worst time of year as far as I'm concerned. They're trying to put on the calories and if they're having a rough go of things, definitely could be on the menu. I thought I'd get up here and get a little high ground. The creek's just down over there, but I heard a rock move down there like somebody or something stepped on it. Could have just slipped itself. I'll just take a minute, sit up here and listen and see what we can see. Probably nothing. Well, there's definitely something out here with me. Yelling at it there, and it sounded like it was going through the bush away from me. Yeah, out here in the remote woods like this by myself, guy's better to deal with things than ignore them. Yeah, probably just wandering by and on his way out of here. Yeah, pays to pay attention though. Oh, it's going to be one of them long nights. That fuzzy critter's still skirting around me here. You should skirt around all night with the fire going. Yeah. One of the joys of being out here in the wilderness. Something you'll have to deal with. There, get that fire going good. Won't like that. Ah, that's right. Who's got fire? Yeah, there's always one troublemaker in the bunch. Nothing new. Man, I tell you, this is just life. I don't know how a guy couldn't like this. Oh, good morning. Just warming up by the fire. It was pretty chilly last night. Had clear sky. Got a nice blue sky today. So it should warm up nicely. Yeah, just having a coffee and cigarette. We'll head back down to the sample hole and see what we can get done there today. Kind of at a crossroad with that. Do I keep going down or do I take out that little pay streak in there? Yeah, we'll warm up here and finish my coffee and we'll head down there and see what we're going to do for the rest of the day. A little bit of water this morning. Not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. Everything's frozen up here. Gold pan and everything. Down in the hole. It's a few degrees warmer anyway. Only thing about being underground, in-ground. Well, with winter pretty much here, up north it could happen any day now. And for as deep as this hole's going, and these layers aren't changing, basically I'd have to do a lot of work in here for support. And say with winter here, and it'd be a good half a day hike in here with snowshoes just to get in here. So not set up for winter mining. Guy would have to be out here for a few days at least. But yeah, so this whole ledge here being unstable pretty much, I'm going to knock it all down into this hole. And I'm going to take out this pay streak here, as much of it as I can, before things freeze up too much on me. Yeah, this is just a sample project. Say this just one sample hole of many through this whole area. I got all kinds of spots picked out for next season, different elevations, older, higher channels. But yeah, we'll get to work here. We'll knock this bank down into this hole. Yeah, say goodbye to the old hole. Here's the one that would have got me. Yeah, destroyed that ladder in the bottom. Well, it took a lot less effort to fill it in than to dig it. Yeah, now we're at a level here. I can take this little pocket out, we'll wash a bit of this and see what we'll come up with.